everyone, I'm Charlie Carnaccio. Welcome to another edition of In the Black, our series with Ken Mann from Freedom Financial Solutions. We are talking about the 9 principles to help grow your business and make it successful. And last week we gave you an overview of everything. This week we are talking about sales. Nothing happens without a sale. It sounds simple, but it's just so important, that whole sales aspect.
Yeah. So ultimately, every business revolves around sales. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business. You can have a great idea, you can have a great product, you can whatever, but if you're not selling, it's not going to put food on your table, it's not going to pay your rent, it's not going to pay your kids' college tuition. Every business needs to have sales. So you really need to kind of consider some questions when you're looking at your business. Well, first of all, what is it that your business is actually selling? What product or service do you provide, and how does it meet the needs of your prospects or your clients? And how do you demonstrate what your products do, and how do you educate potential prospects about what your product does? So it's important to kind of really understand how you're communicating about your product or service that you are intending to sell.
And it's also important to always be looking at your sales process and tweak it along the way to make sure that it's optimized and working most efficiently.
Yeah. So it's very important to evaluate what's going on in your sales process. You want to look at what are you doing that's working. Conversely, what are you doing that's not working? And then, how are your sales calls going? If you're are you going out and you're doing a bunch of prospecting and you're only closing 10%, you're closing 30%, you're closing 50%, whatever the results are, how are those things working? And you need to kind of consider if your success rate is below what you think it should be or below what the industry average is for your particular industry, what is it that you might not be doing right to help you and make those changes? I've heard it said that God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So salespeople need to be listening. Listen to what your customers, your clients, your prospects are saying. Identify what those pain points are, and then after you have completely listened and understood, then you talk to them about how what your product or service can solve their problem and help them to put their head on their pillow at night and fall asleep rather than lay awake stressed out all night long.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that it's really important to know your numbers, to know your success rate with sales. In other words, what's my closing ratio? Because there's an algorithm and a formula that you can back into how many calls you need to go on every day or every week in order to make the money you need to make based on your closing rate and the price point of your product.
Yeah, closing success is certainly one of those things that's very valuable to track. Other things that you want to track is exactly which product or service are your customers buying. So if you have a product offering of 20 products or services and they're only buying 3 or 4 or 5 of them, that might communicate something about either what you're offering doesn't solve a problem, or you're not effectively communicating how what you are offering does solve their problem. You want to track what did they pay. Are they willing to pay you your price? Are they always looking to negotiate down and get a discount? Are you always discounting your services? How are they paying? Are they paying you by credit card, by check? Are they late in paying you? You want to know how that's going. Which of your products is selling the best and which of the ones aren't selling at all? Which of your products provide the best profit margin? So if you're, again, out there selling the products that provide very little return and not focusing on selling the ones that provide the greatest return, you're putting a lot of money and energy into something that's not going to make you a lot of money in return. But if you can change some of that focus to the things that are more profitable, you can then, with the same energy and effort, make a lot more money in your business. And the other thing you want to consider is if your products are being returned. If that's happening, either you're selling and not delivering, or your product is defective, there may be certain indications. So you want to track what is being returned and then calculate how are those returns running against my sales. Mm-hmm. So it's important to really understand the numbers. And again, that's where accounting comes in as the reporting function to help you understand your sales and marketing success or lack of success as you're running your business.
Yeah, last week we had talked about, as an overview, marketing, production, and accounting. They all seem to work separately but have to work together in order for your business to be successful. Thank you, Ken. Next week we are going to talk about when a deal is only a deal when it works for both parties. We'll see you next time.